Hello, NiRiain video. Today we're gonna take a look at XL Dubwool in the Ultra League. This Pokemon is not completely fully XL, as you can see here. It's at 2419, level 50 version of this Pokemon at like the IVs that I have, 15, 15, 15, which is the best one that you can really have for this. Goes to I think 2479. I have mine best buddy tier already, but I'm still missing out at like around 70 XL candy, so like it would be a little bit more bulky. It would still do a little bit more damage than what you can see in this video, but the differences are most likely not really noticeable. So, we have a team here with two Pokemon weak to Fire actually in the back, so we hope that we don't face too many Fire types, and we have two Pokemon in the back that are good against Fighting types, and this is like the main reason why we have this. We have our Buzzwole, which is going to be able to beat especially all those Dark types, like the Scrafty, like the Obstagoon, and we see here how this thing can just sweep through teams if it gets in the right matchups, going for the lunge, going for more lunges, and trying to debuff the opponent's Swampert here so much that they just don't do any damage at all anymore against our Trevenant in the back. So it's going to be a good game already here. We have our Trevenant as our Say Swap, trying to bait out the potential Talonflame in the back, because you can still go for one Shadow Ball, which still does a lot of damage there, and the matchup is actually not as good for Talonflame than you might think. And then you have the Dubwool in the lead, trying to get some early advantage with the combination of the new move Double Kick and the Body Slam. I actually really thought of going for the Tackle version as well. Main reason for this would be the Nidoqueen, because Nidoqueen is still going to be a little bit tough for this team in general, and recently I built a lot of teams that are really weak to Nidoqueen in the Ultra League. I don't know why, but like, yeah, Nidoqueen is currently most likely one of the best Pokemon to use, so it's still manageable with this team. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a little bit tougher, but it's still manageable with this team as a Pokemon like the Buzzwole as well. Even though their moves are resisted, it's still going to hurt a lot. As we're going to No Shield here, expecting an Acid Spray, and what was a Dark Pulse. And that's going to lose us the game, because we have a Charmander in the back. Of course, we couldn't know about the Charmander in the back, and yeah, we have now a Fighting type Pokemon in the back as well, which is kinda horrible. So yeah, it's going to be a good game. Sadly, this will not be enough. I was hoping that they have something that I can still beat with my Buzzwole, as they already showed their, their Obstagoon there. So I knew, okay, I just need a Pokemon that's half decent in the back there. So that's why I no-shielded. But, yeah, this was basically the worst possible Pokemon to face. Even in the Alolan Ninetales would go down from this move, but in Sylveon it doesn't go down from a Fighting type move, so that's that. We see a Dragonite in the lead here, having access to the Dragon Tail. I like the Dragon Breath a little bit more, but Dragon Tail is definitely also a fine choice, as we can now go ahead and go for some Body Slams against this incoming Gascav. That was not the smartest idea, but my opponent decides to shield, and let's see what they're going to do. I'm going to shield here. I saw a lot of Aerial Ace versions of Ascav recently, and I don't really have it, because like, yeah, with Buzzwole you don't really want to get hit by this. Aerial Ace double super effective, but they have only Mega Horn in the Drill Run, which is fine for us, as we can farm them all the way down. And we see the Dragonite coming back in. We can go for one nice lunge, doing some nice damage, and going for one superpower now, trying to get this thing into the red health already, just with neutral, like, not super effective moves there, which is good. Like, not very effective moves, not super effective. It's a little bit weird. As we see a Cobalion coming in, this is pretty similar to the team that I already made before, which was my favorite No XL team, which I always basically every season play at least once, and we're most likely going to play it as well someday soon. But we see the Cobalion coming in here. That's totally fine for us, as we can just go ahead and go for some Shadow Balls against this Pokemon. They cannot do anything at this point anymore, even though it's pretty bulky. There you see here the Shadow Ball doesn't even KO, even though it's neutral and from a Trevenant. But yeah, this is going to be a good game there, as we see another opponent with a Dragonite lead. Dragonite lead seems to be a very good and common Pokemon right now, but we can go ahead and let this first move go through. No, we're actually going to shield up. I wasn't sure if this would be already a superpower, and we see another Ascav coming in. What a surprise. This time around I go into the wrong Pokemon, to be honest. I sure went into my other Pokemon, was just hoping that they don't have the Aerial Ace, but they have now the Mega Horn. And what we can do here though is we can go ahead, go for one Seed Bomb bait, get the shield, go for a Shadow Ball now, get the final shield, and they still have to throw their Mega Horn here now to KO us. And With this, we can definitely try to farm down afterwards with our Buzzwole. We have a move stored into our sheep boy there, so we're going to be able to actually now go for one superpower against this Dragonite, perfectly aligning this tier 1, and we can swap out immediately, going for one charge move here, trying to KO the Dragonite as well, and we should be pretty fine, right? Wrong. We see a Cobalion coming in, of course, now, and as we don't run a Wild Charge here, because Payback is the preferred version for the Ultra League, we are having a tough time now, because you can only spam those Body Slams, which are, of course, not very effective, but they can, of course, also farm you down now. And sadly, the Cobalion usually runs the Stone Edge. Stone Edge will be neutral here. Stone Edge will not KO us, but they have 100 energy. So they're going to get to the move here in time before, and this was kind of unlucky. I kind of misplayed it, to be honest. If I just played like the game before there, I would have been fine, but swapping up the matchup there was definitely not the way to go. But we see here a Swampert, we try to get to the move, didn't work out, and we get hardwalled by a Mandibuzz. And this is sometimes how Go Battle League goes. You sometimes just don't get any kind of chance of doing anything here. We see the Mandibuzz, of course, completely hardwalling the Trevenant. I really want a Mandibuzz for the Great League, to be honest. I think it's one of the coolest Pokemon right now to use, especially after the Warren meta is gone. But sadly, I never got a good one yet, even though I've tried it a lot of them, especially at regionals. But yeah, we see here that we can just now go ahead, let the moves go through, Dark Pulse coming through. We should have maybe swapped into our Buzzwole in the back there, would have been cool as well. But we can go for one Body Slam, trying to get this thing low. We can go for another Body Slam. We have another one stored now, so we can pressure whatever wants to come in here. We can KO the Mandibuzz, and we see the Swampert coming back in. I kind of want to get the damage on, so I'm going to shield this move up. Especially because I kind of want to have a Pokemon still left that I can swap into when my Buzzwole needs to get out of the matchup because I debuffed. So that was kind of the main thought process, but now I'm going to let the move go through anyway. And I'm going to be able to hopefully farm this thing down, but we really need a good matchup in the back in order to win this game or have any chance at all. And we're going to see it's going to go for another move here. We should be able to farm down, but they swap out now into the Warren. Pretty decent matchup. We have to hope that they shield us. If they don't shield us, we are lost. And they don't shield it. And yeah, Superpower most likely would have KO'd him there, but it was a little bit of a risky matchup because of course they could have just went for their charge move. For them it was pretty safe to no shield as well. It was like kind of an awkward scenario, to be honest. I kind of should have risked it maybe, but I'm not sure. We see an opponent here with the Stunfisk in the lead. Stunfisk doesn't really have good charge moves against my Pokemon in the back, but I can get a lot of energy in the beginning and do some nice damage onto this Pokemon with my little sheepy boy, so that's fine. We see a Trevenant coming in, that's also fine because we can go for one Shadow Ball. And we don't bait around here and we completely destroy this Trevenant. Seeing the incoming Stunfisk again, very nice matchup for us now, as we can go ahead, and let this Rock Slide go through. We can go for one Shadow Ball now, and this is looking pretty fine as we're going to get this thing also very low. We can farm it down now with our Buzzwole, and I think at this point of time my opponent decides, so yeah, this is not anything I can do anymore, and they just decide to surrender. I had so much energy stored already. I still had 2 Pokemon versus 1 Pokemon. The core between the Dubwool and the Buzzwole is pretty decent, to be honest. Especially because of the payback, you're going to be able to also beat those ghost types, which is nice. And we see a Cresselia coming in. Maybe I should have tried to go for a payback here, but I thought this matchup is better anyway. They caught the move anyway, it's fine, but we can put him into a range where one Shadow Ball will now KO the opponent, which is amazing, as we can win this match up pretty easily with a lot of energy advantage, and we will see the opponent going into their Warren again. I should have thrown earlier, definitely. This was a bigger misplay, to be honest. I sometimes still have the muscle memory from before the recent update, where now like actually the game kind of works like the mechanics it's supposed to work, like that you get like a fast move through the entire time. Before you kind of wanted to always try to go for some extra moves that would allow you to sneak in an extra move or like deny the opponent, and I'm still kind of in this kind of mood with the gameplay I do, and I kind of have to get rid of this because now of course the game works finally as intended after how many seasons actually? I think like 5 or 6 seasons, I think even more, to be honest, where the game was basically not working as intended. So yeah, we kind of have to get used to this one again. I can now try to farm down the opponent with my Dubwool, but we can go for one Body Slam against this incoming Warren, getting the first shield, and of course we have 2 moves stored on our other Pokemon. we will be able to even KO this Warren here anyway. The Earthquake doesn't do as much damage and we will be pretty fine here. This Body Slam will KO the opponent and we can just farm down. They cannot farm down the opponent's Registeel because they decide to waste my time a little bit. But Dubwool had so much energy anyway, I don't really care too much, as we see the opponent having a Drapion. Drapion will be very good as a matchup for my Dubwool, but not very good for my Trevenant. And I can just go ahead, go for some Body Slams here, trying to get this thing pretty low. Totally fine for us, as we can see here that they go for one Crunch. The Crunch doesn't do too much damage towards me, and I can just let the first move go through, not the second one. They don't debuff me yet. We can go for one Body Slam here. And here's the awkward part. We don't do enough damage, just barely, to actually knock him out. I think maybe if I had those extra power-ups, I would have been fine. I know that this was only an awkward tail, so I was fine there. But I could have maybe played it a little bit easier if I just had those extra power-ups that I'm still missing on my Dubwool. I'm not sure. But we see here the Tapu Fini coming in. We already got him into like half health. We have our Trevenant as an answer. We can go for the Seed Bomb, but they can go for the move before. I'm gonna let this move go through. It's going to be a Moonblast. And we see the incoming Trevenant. And I am screwed. Like, I cannot really do anything here, to be honest. I think I'm going to quit out soon. This is a pretty hard wall for the Dubwool. I really enjoyed Dubwool's design, by the way. I think it's one of the coolest Pokemon in terms of the design. I really just like... I think it's such a cool one, to be honest. I really did enjoy the design of Dubwool. But yeah, I realized as well, I cannot really win this game, so what's the point of staying in? Especially at this point on the season, like, even if I somehow could have won the game, which I don't think there was a play for me, we still have so long to get Legend or like any other ranking, so it doesn't really matter too much. As we see the opponent here coming with their Swampert, kind of awkward for us. We can shield up the move. We already both are one shield down. We can go for more Body Slams here. I kind of want to swap out, to be honest. I'm fine with my Swampert in the back, but I cannot swap out in time. We have to shield again. I can go for 2 more moves, and I should be able to hopefully get the final shield from them as well, or win the switch wedge up here. We have to see. They go for letting this move go through, and I'm going to actually swap out here. I will be able to catch the move. It's going to be a resisted Hydro Cannon, doesn't do a lot of damage, and they go into their Snorlax. Snorlax is going to be a bigger issue for me, to be honest, because this Pokemon will get a lot of energy here. Like, I cannot really hit it too hard with these Seed Bombs, and I will not be able to even knock it out with one more Body Slam. So it's going to be a little bit awkward, as we can go for our Body Slam now. Does do some pretty decent damage, and what we're going to do now is we're going to let this move go through because we cannot shield anyway, and we go ahead and go for our Dubwool, trying to snipe this Pokemon. Let's see if we can still have a chance. We see a Gliscor in the back. We can go for one Lunge here. This Lunge is going to do some pretty nice damage, even though it's resisted. All our moves are resisted, all of their moves are resisted, so it's going to be a really weird one. Let's see if we can still have a chance. They go for the Earthquake, and they go for the swap into their Swampert. I can go for the Lunge. And if they didn't have the shield, we already would have won this, but they sadly still have the shield, and we can just barely not reach the superpower in time. And it's going to be a good game, as they can still knock us out with one resisted Earthquake there. And yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. We see the next opponent. We have a Sylveon in the lead. Let's see how well we are doing against a Charm user here. We can go for some Body Slams. The Body Slam is going to do some pretty decent damage against this Pokemon, of course, as you can see here. But they can get to the charge move fast as well. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get to at least 3 Body Slams still at this point of time, so I'm going to shield up the charge move on them. I'm going to get the first move through, I'm going to get the next one through. I still try to deny my opponent, which still doesn't work, but that's fine. We can get this thing very low, and we can get to another one. As I said, we get to 3, and this will be enough to get the final shield, like the first shield from my opponent. I can farm them down now, and we see a Talonflame coming in. Hooray! And yeah, this is looking really horrible. I can shield this move up at least, and I will be able to go for one more Shadow Ball now, and I think I would reach another one. It really depends on what they have in the back now. We get them very low, we can farm them all the way down. What do they have in the back? They have a Virizion in the back, and this should be pretty fine, to be honest. We can go for one Shadow Ball, get the first shield, and we can go into our Dubwool, and we resist all the moves, and this should be a good game, to be honest, as they run Sacred Sword, and I guess also the Leaf Blade, because I didn't go for the Stone Edge here. This will be a good game for us, and we will be able to pick up this win here. So, Dubwool, definitely a cool Pokemon. I don't think it's going to be really meta, to be honest. I don't think it's really worth it to grind it like I did. I had it as a buddy for like since the move update is basically announced. So yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.